There's always a little bit of a fairy tale within the meta. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome. We're going to be looking at the 389th Taiyo Championship today. And I got to tell you, looking at these breakdowns, it's interesting just to see the different meta challengers that players are bringing to the field for these events, because Kewl Tune definitely has earned its place within the meta. I mean, so many players have been challenging the meta with this that I think it's been honestly probably one of the most interesting, decks just to kind of see how it has been shaping up with the course of the meta, which has been kind of a nice thing to see. Now, the OCG has also been playing these fairy tale piles, or these spellcaster decks that are going to be combining the Endymion support that we recently just got to try to give them a nice little chance to test out some of the waters for the evolving meta. And I honestly, if your meta is, fairy tale in Kewl Tune, I think they've done a great job kind of diversifying the different decks and different challengers that you can actually have within a meta. Now, we've got the standard Mitsurugi pile still running around in the back. I mean, there was only one Mitsurugi deck in this top cut, but it's still enough of a force that you've got players side decking Dark World cards still to try to slow down this deck to the point that, you can actually try to play the game against it, which is, well, it's something, that's to say the least. We also do have some elf notes continuing on along with the success of that deck. The OCG, now that they have, the new power patron forms for the deck, we actually do get to see a different form for the deck, and we actually do get to see that new variation and new variable actually evolving with it. And we also did have a branded challenger in the background. I'm not surprised to see that we did have branded coming up and doing decently well. Let's pass on over to this deck list. So starting things off is actually going to be the Kewl Tunes. And honestly, Harmonium being one of the craziest new hand traps that you've suddenly got access to widen open the door for what you can do, I think is very, very strong. Now, like I said, we've got a list here that is side decking Dark World cards. Now, the reason for this is because when your Mitsurugi opponent forces you to go, discard for the Dark World card, you can actually trigger and suddenly, this brow is refunding me some extra cards. Yes, you do have to actually draw into these to make them worth your time, but I mean, that's not stopping people from wanting to actually play this little package within their deck. And I think you're going to continue to see, the OCG look at this the more that, Mitsurugi does run around in their meta. I am wondering if we had ended up on the same fate that we would have been doing that as well. Next up, we do get to see, yes, the Mitsurugi pile in its fullest, getting to play not only 3 of the Harmonium monster, because you can send the Herald to get the search for the Ame. We also get access into the new Trap Dominus to turn this deck into a completely different creature. It's hilarious to think about that this deck with the triple demise, with everything that it's got going on, is just such a different creature than the build that we have in the TCG side. And honestly, I would say that this build feels completely different than what we got. I mean, heck, man, they've gone so far as they're playing the Lamia again in the deck, because the Lamia ends up being a piece that they can actually use to be able to get all of the different search paths going. So definitely a pile for sure. Next up, we do have more Kewl Tunes. This list chose to only play 2 of the Harmonium Dragon, which is fine. I mean, 2 or 3 is going to achieve the same result. I don't blame the OCG players for acting a little bit more budgety on their side of the meta, considering the fact that that card is as much as it is over there. I do also like the fact that we are side decking triple of the new Solemn. The Solemn being able to, play in combination with the Warning to actually help you out. But you can definitely tell where the power creep has actually happened within the meta, at least, with Kewl Tunes being the real change to this. So Harmonium Fragilius doing its job. Seeing that the Vices Synchro is in here also is real funny. Also side decking a Lone Magna Hut, just to act as the little hand trap that he is kind of nice. Next up, we have Elf Notes with Regenesis in the list. I also see that this list is playing the Sisters of Destruction as well. This kind of just feels like a good pile turbo deck that, you know, you're going to use the Regenesis stuff to kind of set up some, you know, forms of interruption, while the Sisters are there to grant you further interruption so that you can kind of continue on with building the board that your opponent's going to have to eventually deal with. It's also not like you can't crack the Regenesis Rebirth to bring back the Sage. They've just chosen to not play the additional copies of the Regenesis monsters because, I mean, I hate to say this, as much as I like them, they do kind of feel like bricks in certain scenarios. So, you know, you got to cut back on a lot of the extra fat that you're kind of getting within this deck, just to be able to kind of get things set up. Also, Denko Sekka in the side deck and the Secret Villages. Oh boy. Next up here, we have the first of the fairy tale piles here, and obviously seeing Metamorphosis in this list brings a smile to my face because, you know, they can actually rotate a 4 into a 4 with this and actually get some success off of it. Also, they're only playing a singular Fairy Tale Snow in this build, which means you don't necessarily have to go too crazy with branching through the fairy tale stuff. It's just going to be a good piece to kind of help you out as you're kind of building up the boards. I see we're playing the Endymion Link Tune here, as you should be. The fact that this build also gets to cheat with the Borreload Savage Dragon and be kind of an end board piece for you to set on is kind of crazy. And that's why, like, the TCG won't get to experience this, because anytime the Magistus stuff comes up, you know, it's going to have the Borreload Savage Dragon right beside it because its job is to, you know, be that dedicated board piece. We've got another Spellcaster pile here. Now, this build playing the Metamorphosis yet again. You see we've got the Triple Crown built into this as well. We're playing a single copy of the Instant Fusion, which I do think is fine. We got the double Super Poly to rip apart boards with the Garua and the Mud. We're also playing 2 Typhoon in the side deck. That's kind of interesting. I don't really feel like you get enough hang time to actually see that one coming to town, but I can actually get behind that. Outside of that, I mean, you're still relying on, well, actually, you're not doing the crazy Magistus stuff in this build. There's no Borreload Savage present in this. You're just going to be using the generic Spellcaster good stuff like the Witchcraft or Synchro to kind of step into the inboard piece. I also see we're playing the Selene in here as well. That's interesting that you've got 2 different variations of the same deck that you can actually work with and achieve, well, the same results. Okay. Next up, we have Branded. Now, Branded doesn't get super exciting right now, especially when the OCG still has Gimmick Puppet, but I do see this list has kind of stepped away from doing the Gimmick Puppet stuff. They've got Retribution in the main deck, which is fine. Going with the triple Luber with the 1 Albaz and the 2 Fallen of White. Which I do think is fine. We do play the Sanctifier is such a stupid card, man. Sanctifier's job is just to start putting inconveniencing pieces onto the opponent's field, or to revive your Albaz at this point to do a bump off of the field to be able to do the thing. And also, you do see yet again those triple Secret Villages down here in the side deck coming up to actually inconvenience the opponent. Telling your opponent that they can't play spell cards is one of the craziest and most powerful, like, moves that we've got in the modern era times. And honestly, it is really, really, really working out over time for these lists. And then the last deck we actually have is more Kewl Tune. This build is playing the triple Fragolius. We've got the triple Fua 1 Maxi in the main deck, which is fine. I do see that we do have the other Manadium Synchro in here instead of Vices. Which is fine. We've got Double Evenly. We're also side decking Anti-Scam and the Dimensional Barrier. It's crazy to me that Dimensional Barrier doesn't come up more within these lists to kind of be like a little bit of a shutout card in certain matchups. I don't know. I felt that's kind of a weird thing, but I guess we'll see more where this goes. But that's all I have for the breakdown for this event. Please comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.